Welcome to Joyful Jen Yoga. Today's practice is a gentle yin-inspired practice to help your body feel grounded and relaxed. We'll use the wall. If you have a sandbag or anything else that you could use that's a little heavy, that can help as well. I have 2 blocks and a blanket. If you like a bolster, have one by as well. So take any props that you like. A pillow is a great alternative for a bolster. A pillow could also work as a sandbag, just something to give you a little bit of weight and grounding. So let's begin seated. I have a folded blanket underneath my sits bones. If you'd like, you might take whatever heavy object and place it on your ankles, again, just to give that sense of grounding. Let your hands rest in whatever position is comfortable for you. Let your eyes soften or close. And then begin to take inventory of your physical body. Notice if you're holding any tension around your forehead, around the muscles of your eyes, of your jaw. Notice your neck and your throat. Work to pull your ears back over your shoulders, stacking your shoulders over your hips, feeling the length of your spine, feeling spaciousness in your torso. Let your elbows hang heavy from your shoulders. Let your arms feel supported in whatever position you've chosen. Notice if you're able to deepen your breath here, creating space around your side body, the front and back of your ribs. Every breath in, releasing that every breath out. Notice your shoulder blades, your mid-back, your low back. Notice your abdomen. Notice the area around your pelvis, your hips, your glutes. Notice your thighs. Notice your calves, your ankles and your feet. Check in with your physical self. Notice the quality of your breath. And then start to take stock of your energy body, your emotional body. How are you showing up in this moment? What can you invite more of into your life? What could you release that simply no longer serves you? Allow yourself 10 more soft inhales and exhales. In your next breath, reach your arms up overhead and then draw your hands down to heart. Taking another moment here to connect within, to observe the you that's on your mat in this moment, what you need, what you could release. And then allowing your eyes to flutter open, we'll transition to the wall. So you might have your sandbag nearby or your heavy object. And then we'll take either our mats, or I'm just kind of bringing the edge of my blanket up against the wall. And we'll wiggle our bum right there, right against the wall. So pick your favorite hip, bring it up against the wall, and then gently roll onto your back body. Now, when you arrive here, we're looking to get as much of the back of our legs against the wall as possible so you feel supported. Now, if your hamstrings say no thank you, you can have a bend to your knees, or you can scoot your bum away from the wall a little bit here. Now, when you get upside down, you might decide this is perfect, this is what you need, or you might bend your knees and see if you can place that sandbag or heavier object on top of your feet. And then when you arrive, start to allow your upper body to settle. Imagine the heads of your femurs anchoring into your hip sockets, grounding here, allowing your breath to deepen without force, accepting tapping in to your spirit here, your breath, your energy, however it is that you're arriving in this moment. Practicing, observing with a sense of non-attachment, with a sense of acceptance. Notice any shifts or changes that your physical body might experience here. And then begin to get curious about any shifts in your energy, perhaps your emotional body. Watching as you move your breath fully in and out through your nose. Allowing your whole torso to fill with breath. Allow yourself 10 more grounding breaths here. then gently begin to bend your knees, especially if you have that sandbag on your feet. We'll slide the sandbag or whatever it is on your feet down the wall. Send your feet back up the wall and take your sandbag and place it on your belly if that feels okay. Take a pause, a breath, just to notice how light your feet or legs might feel here. And then we'll slowly let our legs widen out into more of a straddle shape. Relax your ankles. Just start to invite a softening in. If it would feel good to your body to prop your legs up with blocks, you certainly could. Let gravity kind of just work its way here. I sometimes place blocks under my legs simply so gravity doesn't work too hard on them. Having a boundary or a stopping point is sometimes a good thing too. Notice if this is shifted for you in any way. This feels more or less active. Notice if your inner thighs or your hips, if they're welcoming of this stretch or if they're resistant. Five more breaths. Start to slide your hands to the outsides of your thighs. Soften your knees and just help your legs to move back up the wall. Slide your sandbag or heavy object off to the side. And then draw those knees into your chest a moment. If you have any other props, go ahead and slide them out of the way as you roll to your favorite side and make your way back upright. And take that blanket if you like to use it underneath your sits bones. We'll bring our feet together. Now we're coming into more of a yin butterfly here, so you want to wiggle your heels a little bit farther away than you would in Baddha Konasana, where your heels are meant to be closer to your groin. Now option with that sandbag or heavier object, you can place it on your feet to ground a little bit. Find some length here as you root down through your sits bones and then gently walk your body forward. A bolster could come in handy here. You could rest on your bolster. You can let your torso just hang out while you breathe. Soften through your low back. Soften through your inner thighs. Relax around your hips. Notice if you're clenching or holding energy in your jaw, soften there as well. Let your head hang. You can always support your head in your hands if your head starts to get heavy. 5 more steady breaths here. As you're ready, slowly start to lift your torso up. Help your knees to point up and slide that sandbag off to the side. So we'll come to all fours here. You can pad up your knees with a blanket if you'd like. And then just take a moment here to spread your fingertips. Work those wrists right underneath your shoulders and just start to shift a little side to side. Notice how your wrists feel, how your hips feel. And then pause and start that movement a little forward and back. Again, just shifting, noticing how your wrists feel. And then come to stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and make the smallest, tiniest little movements, circling your shoulders over and around your wrists. Keep your core gently active here. Soft gaze, soft jaw. And then pause and circle in the other direction. Soft, full breath. And then pause. Take your hands now so that your fingertips are facing out to the long edges of your mat. Keep that core active. And again, a little shift side to side. And then pause and a little shift forward and back. Gentle motions, just exploring some mobility in your wrists. And then little tiny circles. Again, only going to the point of your comfort. If being in this position with your hands is too much, you can always return them forward or just simply move less. Circle in the other direction. And pause. Bring your hands out in front of you. Let your knees go wide. Shift hips to heels, and we'll come forward into a child's pose. Let your palms face up here. And we'll take our pinky fingers in, then our ring fingers, middle fingers, index, and thumb. And then open out, thumbs, index, middle, ring, pinky fingers. And we'll do that a couple more times, really dramatic, one finger at a time, coming into a little fist, and then opening back up, stretching the muscles around the hands, the fingers, the wrists. One more time. Beautiful. And then go ahead and release, placing your hands in whatever position is comfortable for your child's pose here. You can keep your legs with your knees wide. You can draw your thighs closer in. You can keep your arms out in front of you or bring them back behind you. If you are feeling sneaky, you can slide that sandbag on your hips here. And settling in, again, re-grounding, reconnecting. Allow yourself 10 more deep breaths here. And if you've chosen to place a sandbag on your hips, go ahead and slide that off. And we'll come back up to all fours. This time in our all fours, we'll keep our left hand, kind of typical, fingertips facing toward the short end of the mat, and then we'll take our right hand and we'll start to spin the fingers first toward the long side of the mat and towards our body any amount. Fingertips toward the knees. And we'll take 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, pull your heart forward, lengthen. And then exhale, round it in. Inhale, draw your heart forward. And exhale, round in. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, find neutral, return the right fingertips forward. Take the left hand, left fingertips, move back behind you. 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, lengthen front body. Exhale, lifting back body to the sky. Inhale, find space in front body. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round. Inhale to neutral. Let those left fingertips come forward, and then we'll crawl both sets of fingertips forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, melt your heart toward the ground. Your forehead might touch the earth. It might touch a block. Hips are directly over your knees in Anahatasana. Another steady breath here, melting our heart. And then gently walk your hands back in. We'll let our knees go wide again. Shifting hips to heel back into our child's pose. If the sandbag was working for you, you might take the sandbag again to your sacrum. And then stretching arms out in front of you, take an inhale, lift up onto fingertips, walk your hands to the right side of your space. You could interlace your left fingertips on top of your right here, coming into a little side stretch. Imagine that left sits bone meeting your left heel, even though it never will, probably. And try to get that length as you stretch through your left fingertips. Take another steady breath in. And out, walk yourself back through to center pause. Notice if there's more space in that left side. And then crawl your fingertips over to the right. The right hands might interlace on top of the left. Now imagining that right sits bone meeting the right heel. Breathing into the space in the right side rib cage. Take another deep breath in. And out. Gently walk yourself back to center. Pause again here. And then gently make your way back up. Slide that sandbag off to the side, and we'll make our way onto our back body. So however you get there is perfect. When you arrive, bending your knees as though you were coming up into a bridge pose. You're not going to, but imagine that. And we'll extend our left leg up to the sky. And you can hold your hamstring if you'd like, or just let the leg be free. If you like that sensation of weightedness, you can take that sandbag onto your belly. And we'll just dorsiflex and plantar flex that left ankle a few times, thinking about pointing the toes up to the ceiling and then pulling the toes back toward your shin, working into our ankle a little bit here. And then draw the toes into your shin. Externally rotate from your hip and cross that left ankle over your right thigh. From this position, start to circle that left ankle around a few times in one direction. And then pause, circle in the other direction. Take another breath in here. And then find stillness and slowly draw that right knee into your chest if you need more sensation. If you're feeling plenty of sensation, please keep your right foot on the ground. You could hold your hamstring or your shin with your hands, or you could just let gravity pull your legs in towards your body. Whatever feels necessary. Checking in with your energy here. Checking in with your physical body. Take another inhale. And exhale, gently release that right foot down. Send the left leg up to the sky, another little pointer flex of your ankle. And then gently release the left leg long. Feel the left leg stretch. Hug that right knee into your chest for just a moment. Take another inhale here. Exhale, release the right foot, bend the left knee, and then we'll send that right leg up to the sky. Again, you can hug the thigh or you can just let the leg be free. And we're drawing the toes to the ceiling, drawing the toes towards your calf, towards your shin. Keeping our nice, steady, smooth breath in and out through the nose. And drawing the toes into your shin. Externally rotate from the hip, cross that ankle over your thigh, and then start to circle your right ankle around. Notice if there's any crunchy sounds or if everything feels like it's moving pretty smoothly. Circle in the other direction. And if you're feeling plenty of sensation here, stay, or draw that left thigh in if you feel like you need a little bit more. You can hold the left leg with your hands if you'd like. You don't have to, of course. Steady breath in and out. Feeling as much of your back body on the earth as you can. Notice if your tailbone's kind of lifting up off the ground. Perhaps you work to keep your sacrum more attached to the earth here. Take another steady breath in and out. Release that left foot if you took it up, and then we'll extend that right leg. Point and flex the ankle a few times, and then allow that right leg to land on the ground, maybe feeling a little longer, hugging the left knee in for a moment. Take an inhale. Exhale, release that left foot. Bend the right knee, and we'll bring our feet as wide as the mat and let the knees knock towards center, constructive rest pose. So pause here a moment. Check out how you feel. Notice how your knees feel, how your joints, your wrists, your ankles, back body. We're going to make our way into a quad stretch. So there's a lot of options here. Take another breath. And gently walk the feet a little closer in. Roll to your favorite side. I'm going to grab my meditation cushion here. I know I'm going to want it. But I want to give you a couple of options. We're going to come into a half saddle pose, which can be a pretty intense shape, especially if you have anything going on with your knees or if your quads are tight like most of us. And if that's the case, I'm gonna have you come onto your side body, and instead of coming into the half saddle, we're gonna take our hand, reach back for our ankle, or find a strap or something of that nature to make your arm longer, and hold our foot here instead of where we're going in half saddle. So as I'm offering the next shape, know that this is a really great variation if where we're going is not for you. So we'll start with our right knee down. So we'll lean to our left and we'll bring that right ankle back behind you. And the idea is that the ankle is to the outside of the right hip. Now, again, if you want grounding, you can certainly place that sandbag on your thigh. Now, if you're here and you're like, absolutely not, this isn't working for my knee, come on to that sideline pose. If you think, yeah, all right, I'm feeling okay here, you might sit, you might have something underneath your sits bones, a blanket or a block if your sits bones aren't both touching the ground. You might feel like this is a nice stretch and you're happy here. You might start to walk yourself backwards. If it feels good to lay all the way back or perhaps rest on a block or a blanket or a bolster, you certainly could do that too. So be on this first side for about 20 breaths. See if you can consciously soften the muscles of the quadriceps on that right side. Notice if you're holding, if this is an intense shape for you, you might find that you're holding in your right glutes or in your hip flexors. Can you release that? Can you be softer? If at any point it feels like too much, go ahead and sit back up. Invite that softening in your physical body. Invite your breath to fill up your torso. Invite a single pointed focus. Perhaps it's on your breath. Bringing your mind back to your point of focus whenever it trails off. A few more breaths here. If you're reclined and you choose to have a sandbag on your hips, go ahead and slide it off to the side. We'll start to lean toward the left and make our way back up. Extend that right leg out in front of you. Notice any of that perhaps dull, achy sensation through that right leg. Return the blood all the way down to your toes here. And give the toes a little wiggle. And then we'll come onto the other side. So what did you learn from the first side? What makes sense, what doesn't? We'll roll to the right, work that left ankle to the outside of the left hip. And work the sandbag on our hips if that seemed like a good idea. Check in every step along the way as you start to make your way down into your half saddle pose, whatever that looks like. Remember, you can be on your side. You could also be on your belly, reaching back for your foot. There's many reasons why our knees don't want to be in this deep of flexion, so certainly be mindful of what's going on in your physical body. Taking care of our body, allowing it to soften, to release whatever it is we might be holding in our tissues, creating space and inviting release. Notice again if you're holding any tension, jaw, around your forehead, in your glutes or your low back, just so that you're not holding. A few more breaths on this side. Notice if your breath is naturally deepening, if the inhales and exhales are naturally lengthening at this point in practice. Offer up another breath in and out. Slide off a sandbag if you have one, and then roll to the right. And we'll make our way up as we extend that left leg. Pause for a moment seated, your legs extended. You might kind of windshield wiper your feet side to side. Good. And we'll make our way down into Shavasana. Now, options here. If legs up the wall felt really relaxing, please find your way back there. Or you could come all the way onto your back body, perhaps taking that heavy item or that sandbag onto your pelvis. Again, a little active grounding here. You can extend your legs out. Draw your shoulder blades slightly together to give just the gentlest lift of your heart. To settle here, let your eyes close down. Relaxing your physical body from the crown of your head all the way down through the soles of your feet. Imagine every breath out, you allow your whole body to relax even deeper. Imagining every exhale, your body melts a little bit closer, deeper into the floor, softening your whole body, relaxing everything in this moment. Let go of any holding or tension in your breath. Let it be natural. Continue to soften toward the earth. Gently begin to reawaken the physical body here. Wiggle fingers, toes, circle wrists and ankles. If you have that sandbag on your hips, go ahead and slide it off to the side. Bending your knees, go ahead and roll to your favorite side. You can keep your eyes soft or closed. We'll return up to a seated position. You can take the blanket or whatever prop you use for your seat. And noticing the habitual cross of your leg, cross the opposite ankle in front. Return to your seat as we started the beginning of practice. Relax your brow and your jaw, your neck and your throat. Let those elbows hang heavy from your shoulders. Connect your sits bones to the earth. Hopefully feeling a sense of grounding and connection. Softening, a surrender. And when you feel ready, sweep the arms up overhead and exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Bowing forehead to fingertips in gratitude. I wish you abundant joy. Be well.